Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Freelance Friday podcast. Today, I want to give you some short and sweet selling advice. I've recently had just a couple of realizations about selling, a couple of things that I found have worked well, a couple of things I've seen people do that I'm like, ooh, I wish I could give them some advice. And I want to give it to you. I want to give you 3 tips for selling 3 different ways, starting with your website. Now, this is relevant whether you are selling a service, whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling a course, a digital product, really anything. You want to make sure that your websites are, first and foremost, easy to navigate. People have a general expectation, just like we open up a book and we expect it to read left from right. We expect websites to navigate a very similar way, and we have a normal place where we look for a contact button, for example, top right corner. We have a place where we look for a menu, usually the left or up along the top. And so you want to make sure that people can find what they need to find on your website. Very rarely do I see people have very extravagant, fancy websites that are very artsy and outside of the norm that convert really well. And I've done this. I've tried to be super fancy and super edgy and cool, or I'll name things very flowery words. Instead of saying blog, I'll call it journal, or I'll call it love notes. And people don't click on it because it's not easy for them to navigate. So make it easy to navigate first and foremost. I also think it's important to be upfront about your offerings. If you have a goal of converting people, of making sales using your website, you need to let them know, number one, what's on the menu, what are the offerings. You also need to let them know what the offerings include very specifically. So if you offer social media management, I want to know what platforms you can manage. I want to know, do you create content or do you just post content? I want to know, do you do packages? Do you do hourly? I really want you to break it down as well as you can. If you're selling a course, I want to know exactly what I'm going to learn. Is this broken up into modules? Is this a live course? Is this an evergreen course? Who are you, right? Who are you? Why are you qualified to teach this? Give me as much information as possible without making it full wall of text overwhelm on your website, which is a careful balance, right? There's a lot of visual things you can do to break that up, breaking up blocks of text and bullet points and having, pictures break things up and maybe incorporating video. But you want to make sure that information is there if people need it. Because I personally, I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, especially of my generation, I just want to have as much of the information as I can before I click purchase. I am currently filming at a podcast studio in Tampa. And in order to do this, I didn't talk to a person to book this. I was able to go onto their website. I was able to see exactly what equipment they had, exactly when it was available, exactly how much it cost, and what to expect. I didn't need to call with additional questions. I felt pretty confident it would have what I needed. And so I paid. I pulled out my credit card right there on the spot. So that's what you want people to do. And that said, sometimes people are going to have additional questions, right? Maybe I did have a very specific question about, could I bring my own microphone, or could I, whatever that might be. That's a little bit out of the norm. So you want to be available to contact and easy to contact. Just like you want your website to be easy to navigate, you want that booking form to be easy to find, or that book a call form or button to be easy to find. I don't want contact forms, honestly, especially if it's for a service. Now, if it's for a course or content creation, stuff like that, yeah, maybe that's a little bit different. But if we're talking about a service, a done for you service, and you say, contact me with questions, and you give me a form, honestly, I'm going to decide that you don't care that much about me and you don't care that much about my business. I know that sounds cutthroat, but that's just how I feel as a consumer and what I see as a marketer. If your service is a very low cost service, if it's, $100, a couple $100, yeah, you need to manage your time accordingly. But if you're going to ask people for $2,500 to manage their social media and you can't take 15 minutes to answer my questions on a call, I'm not spending $2,500 a month with you. So you can use your client management system to create a link where people can schedule and get them into your client management system. You can use a tool like Calendly or Cal for completely free to book calls, but you just want to be available to contact if needed. It shows that you care. So I want to take a second to thank today's sponsor, which is Metricool. If you don't already know, Metricool is your all-in-one social media management platform that I personally use for my business and is a must-have tool in the marketing space. And while they do have a free forever plan, their pro plan can help take you to the next level, and you can try it free for 30 days using my code Latasha at the link in the show notes. You can choose from starter, advanced, or enterprise plans. There really is a plan for everyone. Some of the amazing premium features that are available across the plans are management of multiple brands, analysis of up to 100 competitors, customizable links for any of your social media bios, downloadable reports that you can automate monthly, a hashtag search engine for Instagram and TikTok. You can assign team member roles and client access, and you can integrate with Data Studio for further analysis. So be sure to create your free account today and upgrade to premium while you're at it. You can use my code Latasha at the link down in the show notes to try any of those premium plans for free for 30 days. Let's talk about in-person, because I very rarely talk about in-person because in-person selling is very new to me. But I recently went to an art fair with my mom. She is a wonderful artist. You can find her on Instagram at Define Me Artful. She has an Etsy shop. I think she probably also does custom orders. She was a featured artist at a store in my hometown, Kalamazoo, Michigan recently. And I went with her and it was so fun for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss working retail, because for those who don't know, I started working retail, I think when I was 15 or 16 years old, and worked at, Victoria's Secret Beauty, Maurice's, Dots, which no longer exists. Shout out, please comment down below if you remember Dots. I worked my way up to management roles in all of those different companies. And yeah, I worked there all through college. And I really miss working retail. Honestly, I'm like, should I get like a Saturday job working retail just because this was so fun for me? Anyway, so while I was selling my mom's jewelry, these tips came up. Number one, it's to let them touch it. I actually had a stint as a wedding dress salesperson also, which I was terrible at, by the way. Maybe it's a bad omen. But yeah, so number one is let them touch it, right? That's definitely something I learned working in bridal, is you want people to start to feel it because they start to own it. Step into the dress, try it on. Don't just look at it. Don't just browse the aisles. Actually feel the fabric, get into the dress. In my mom's case, I was, oh, you like that necklace? Here, I'll take it off the rack for you and put it into your hands and let you actually touch it, let you see the, materials it's made out of. Do you want to try it on? I can clasp it for you. Once people start to put it on or put it in their hands, they start to take ownership over it. And I think it also just shows your confidence in the product, right? If I'm selling a bridal gown and I'm letting you touch it, that means I know it's not some cheap, terrible fabric that's gonna turn you off. I know that it's high quality. It's not gonna just fall apart when I put this necklace around your neck. The other thing that I have learned over the years of working retail and, recently selling my mom's stuff is to compliment them, compliment their taste. I think a lot of people are very insecure, especially when we think about fashion, right? I'll put something on and think I look amazing. And then that insecurity creeps in. I'm like, oh, but I don't know. Do I look like not my best in this? Is this in style? Is this so cool? And then I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not it. When you're in a fitting room and a stranger is complimenting you and be like, oh yes, that is your dress. You need that dress. That's my dress. And so you as a salesperson can do something similar, right? You go in, obviously be honest, right? If it's not their dress, if it's not the necklace for them, help them find an alternative. But you want to compliment them. You want to reinforce their purchasing decision. And this is true for anything, by the way. This is also true for online. When people are, buying one of my courses and they're sending me emails about it, I let them know, congratulations, on taking this step. It's so awesome that you're investing in your education. I love doing social media. I love running an online business. I'm so excited for you. This is such a big moment. Celebrate with them, compliment their decision. And I think the other thing about selling in person is you want to really build value and have conversations about the craftsmanship of things. I guess this depends on what you're selling, but again, I'm coming from like the fashion and jewelry perspective. And in addition to just reinforcing the taste, you want to reinforce the fact that they're making a smart investment, especially in today's world, right? Where people are struggling a bit financially and the economy is weird. And we don't want to just buy like fast fashion that's going to fall apart as soon as we wash it once. So, compliment, wow, like these are great jeans, I have them myself, and like they're so durable, and like I've had these for 2 years and they still look brand new. My mom at the art thing, she uses really amazing materials. Like she was talking to one of her customers about where she sources her beads from. She goes to Dabbles in Detroit, if anyone knows of that spot. It's an amazing like African bead museum and store, and he actually goes on trips to different countries in Africa to get some really old amazing beads and new beads as well. But she'll tell these stories about where she found this particular strand of beads, or this crystal bead that she bought or whatever. It's not just like a glass cheap seed bead that she got at Michael's, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's a different type of selling than you would be doing if you are investing in craftsmanship. If you're selling high quality stuff, like tell them that. Again, let them feel that and tell those stories. And lastly, I want to talk about webinars, because this is one of the big ways that I sell my online courses, my online stuff. First thing that I have been finding that's really, really helpful is encouraging them to give me their full attention at the beginning. So I never used to do this. I would kind of just like start the call and be like, hey guys, like I'm Latasha, like whatever, let me know where you're at. In the beginning, I say, hey, thank you so much for choosing to be here with me for this hour. I know that your time is valuable. Mine is too. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my phone on Do Not Disturb so that I don't get any text messages or, phone calls while I'm teaching you this material. I would greatly appreciate it if you did the same. I don't want you to miss anything. I want to make sure that we're spending intentional quality time together. So if you want to put your phone in Do Not Disturb, that would be super helpful. Doing this little thing, it's an investment. It's acknowledging that there's a value exchange here, and it's acknowledging that what you are saying is important and that they need to listen up. This isn't just like, yep, I'm going to just ramble on a sales pitch to you. It's like, no, I don't want you to miss this. And also I care about you. And also I think what it does is, in a world of like evergreen automated webinars, it proves that you're real if you are indeed offering this webinar live. So it shows them, hey, she's going to be talking back and forth to me. This isn't just a recording. In general, for the webinar content, which by the way, if you want kind of my framework for webinars to sell courses, I've got a course called the Course Creation Toolbox. I will link it down below for you, but there's an actual template in there, and I'm doing 25% off all my courses right now for summertime. So you can use code SUMMER25 to get 25% off of that. But it's a bunch of templates that I use to sell courses, and I have my actual webinar template in there to kind of give you a better idea of what the format and structure of them is. But basically what I try to do is give them an aha moment during that webinar. Like, you don't want to use it to, number one, just sell. Boring. You also don't want to, basically just give your course away for free. Like, you don't want to just give every little tidbit that's in the course. You instead want to give them a nugget. I was at CEX last year, a content creator kind of conference, and one of the speakers mentioned that too. She said, like, give them like the first step. Let's say your course is all about how to write a book. Okay, that's what the course is going to help them do. Write the book, market the book, sell the book, pitch to agents, or self-publish, right? The full shebang, 0 to publish. Your webinar should teach them how to write the first chapter, or how to commit to their book idea, maybe even. Let's not even go full chapter, right? How to commit to your book idea, how to decide on your book topic. By the end of this webinar, I want you to validate your idea. That little aha moment, again, it's going to help them commit. It's going to say, all right, well, number one, she taught me this huge hurdle. She helped me through this huge hurdle. So she's going to help me through these bigger hurdles. And also now I'm excited. Now I don't just want to write a book. I want to write a book about XYZ, and now I need to take action on it. So it kind of like gets them over that hump. And then the last thing for webinars that I think is really true for right now, at least at the time of uploading this, is you need to give an unreal offer. I think people are really tired of getting on webinars and being given like, a 10% discount, or being given like a free group that nobody cares about, or a free one-on-one that, doesn't really matter. It's like with a member of their team, whatever. You want to give time-bound, unreal offers, meaning I am offering everything for 50% off till the end of the webinar only, or till the end of the day only. This kind of plays on that sense of urgency, which it's not a false sense of urgency as long as you actually are only offering it for a limited period of time, but it gets people to commit to a decision. And I think in a lot of ways, this is a service personally for selling, because we can overthink things, right? We can let that momentum die. And if you get them to the point of wanting to write their book, they're really qualified. You give them time to ask questions about the offer. And then you say, well, this offer will be good until like next year. Well, they're never going to actually take action on it, or they'll wait until the 11th hour when they could be a published author. They could be debuting their book on Good Morning America by next year. So I think in many ways it's a service. As long as you're doing it ethically, you're making sure that these folks are actually wanting what you're buying, and you're not just like throwing a bunch of like fake value at them just to get their credit card. So do it intentionally, but do give something good and make it time bound. All right, well, that's my quick and dirty sales advice. I hope whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to sell, that this was helpful. You gleaned some type of insight from it. And please be sure to subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple. Leave me a rating or review or a comment if you're on YouTube. I love, love, love hearing from you. And as always, I hope this was helpful. I will see you in my next one. Bye.